So In the Garden Is Me is born from a dream that I had towards the beginning of being a mom. Basically, I feel like God gave me this dream that was turned into a vision of what motherhood could be for me. This idea that there's a part in the poem where everything that my kids pick from a garden immediately gets replenished. So if they pick a carrot, there's a new carrot in the same spot. And what I felt like God was telling me, which I have seen now to be true, is that everything that I give away, God restores or replenishes for me. And there is no wasted effort or sacrifice or pain. And so I just feel like the last 6 years, that poem has really been kind of a vessel that holds everything else that has happened in the last 6 years of being a mom for the first time. And so much has happened since then. And so all of the other poems that fill this collection kind of fill in the spaces like where I've really needed that promise to be true. So whether it's, poems about pain and what it felt like to endure great pain in pregnancy and chronic illness, in whatever was required of my body physically, but then, how motherhood and life stretches us and requires us to break and bend and need God, even though we ourselves are in great need and needed by these little people. So that's what it is about. It's a collection of poems. And I've been wanting to do something like this for a really long time. And I feel like I have been doing this for a really long time. These are 6 years of my hardest, most tender moments with God on paper. And my prayer is that really what it's about for me is having words on paper for my children to remember these years. I'm not much of a scrapbooker. Don't really make the scrapbooks. And so this is how I plan to keep these little years that have formed my children and are forming my children and are forming me as a human and a mom and a person. So this is how I'm collecting all of our little moments, and I hope that my kids, that's who I wrote it for. I hope my kids grow up and read them and re-experience the humanity of these years that they probably won't remember most of, but they've marked me and hopefully are marking them. And so
would you say these are your most vulnerable?
Yeah, these are my honest, scary, honest feelings. So that's scary. It's scary to think that, not just, honestly, what doesn't scare me is strangers reading my most honest words and thoughts. What scares me is my children growing up and seeing me be this human. But it feels kind. It feels kind to give them the moment itself and also my perspective of what I was dealing with in that moment, whether I showed up well or less than well. It was my best or it wasn't. And that's it's scary to give that to them. But after giving birth to my son, I left the hospital feeling this urgency of I've got to get all of these words that I've written over the last 6 or so years. I've got to get them organized in a form on paper that can be held and touched for my kids. And hopefully they, as kind of a byproduct, encourage other people as well.